Imagine doing all the efforts to set up a beautiful Fiverr profile, doing keyword research, getting ranked, receiving impressions, and then nothing just happens after that. Your gig is simply ignored by buyers and no one clicks on it. That must be very painful. And yes, it is. This mainly happens because as your gig is presented to buyers in search results, the very first thing, or actually the only thing that they notice, is your gig images or gig videos. You only get a click if these visuals are catchy enough. If not, all your efforts will lead to absolutely no results. So let's talk about gig images first, and let's discuss how you can design them so good that you stand out in the crowd and beat the competition every single time. Here are a few tips for that. Number 1, keep gig images simple and clean. So as sellers design, gig images, it is very tempting for them to put all the details on one same image in an attempt to attract buyers. For example, pause the video and look at the images highlighted with red. Can you really read what is written there? No, right? So if no one can read this, then what is the point of writing these things there? Now one may argue that once these images are clicked on, these images become enlarged. But that is only when these gigs will actually be clicked on in search results. Right now, these images in search results look complicated, boring, and dull. So there is a high chance that buyers will ignore these images altogether, despite these being ranked after all the ranking efforts. So it is very important to keep these images very minimal, very clean, with very less text, and very simple, so these stand out in the crowd. Use readable fonts and keep text size large. For example, look at the images of these ranked gigs. Pretty simple, clean, and readable, right? So this is the most important thing that we need to take care of while designing gig images. Number 2, use bright background colors. Using bright background colors also helps you attract buyers and also helps you stand out in the crowd because bright colors catch buyers' attention. But of course, these colors should be used in a professional way. Here is an example of bright background colors being used smartly. I have added this image in gig image examples file after this video as well, so you can check it out there too. Number 3, add a professional image of yourself. So you can also use a professional image of yourself in the gig images, but make sure you are well dressed, facing front, with a very smiley and friendly face. Doing so gives the message that you are a confident and credible seller. Here is an example of how you can use your image. Here is a second example, and again, these both are added in the examples file. Number 4, use icons or logos of tools and technologies. So this is another very good way and very smart way to stand out in the crowd and catch the attention of buyers. Mostly, they are looking for services related to a tool or technology in the marketplace, and seeing its logo right there catches their attention. And they are compelled to open the gig and see all the details. Here is a good example of how you can smartly use tools and technology logos in your gig images. Here is the second example, and notice how sharp background colors are being used with logos here. And number 5, add client logos to build credibility. So last but not least, adding client logos in your gig images also helps a lot, as it builds credibility and shows that you are a real person doing real work for real companies that are existing out there. Here is an example of how you can use client logos, but remember, we have to keep the overall gig image outlook very simple and clean. So do not add too many logos. Let's talk about gig video now. It is also highly recommended to use a gig video in your gig along with gig images. And videos actually have more engagement than images. In the gig video, you can explain your services, but do not hard sell and try to add some value for buyers. You can do so by giving them some tips on regarding their project or anything like that. So as they watch their video, they get some value in return against their time as well. After this video, I have added an example gig video, so feel free to watch that out and get some ideas. Gig images and video define the overall look and feel of your profile. So keep working towards making this overall look and feel very premium. This will not only help you close high-ticket clients, but you will also be able to become a Fiverr's top-rated seller or a Fiverr Pro seller much faster.